Hi everybody, it's me, Pollo in San Francisco, and I'm here for episode 3 of my new series on YouTube called Giving You Face, where I talk to some of my fabulous friends, and then we do a drag makeover at the end. I'm so excited to have with me today an icon within the gay community, an absolute legend in San Francisco, and anybody who's ever watched gay adult films knows her as one of the biggest personalities in the industry, Sister Roma.
Hey, I love her. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for having me. This is great. This is the best drag closet I've ever seen. Sorry, we need more. She's got you beat. This is incredible. I love it.
What's your drag closet like?
I also have a big walk-in closet that I used to have a bed in.
Really?
That I used to use as a bedroom, and I just took the bed out because drag takes over your life. You don't even mean to before you know it. I mean, makeup is so addictive. Jewelry is my big problem.
Yeah, you have a lot of jewelry.
I do. And then the boas. I mean, just everything, you know, gotta have those boas, girl.
I had a garbage bag full of boas. I was like, I'm never going to use these anymore. I'll give them to Sister Roma. She was like, well, thank you for thinking of me. It was just so...
these Party City Halloween store, like, bucket boas, where they were hanging by a thread. But it was a sweet thought.
I was like, Sister Roma will love these.
It is hard to find the really good boas, though. And I do get turkey feather boas, and I get them from dreamangel.net. So if you're looking for really good quality boas, I would recommend Dream Angel. And they're not that expensive online.
When I first came to San Francisco 16 years ago, you were the only sister who was allowed to wear boas on their head.
Well, I know I wasn't the only sister that was allowed to. It's just that Sister Flagellina started it with me and made us matching costumes, and then she was like, it's her idea. She goes, let's put boas on her head. So I got a big pink one, and she got a big yellow one, and I just kept it up. And I was the only sister that wore boas for a long time, but now there are a lot of sisters that wear boas. They're always like, this is, you know, sort of a homage.
It's always been curious to me how a drag personality and celebrity became so integral and involved in the gay porn industry.
Oh, well, I was hosting the VIP room at Spread at 1015 Folsom one night, and there was a new drag queen in town, and she was standing against the wall dressed as Wonder Woman.
Aha! It wasn't me.
Yes, it wasn't you. Standing there, and I walked by her, and I was like, you go, Wonder Woman, and just made this little face at her. And then I saw her the next day at the End Up, and that was Shantae Bouvier, who is Mike Ewens, who is still my best friend today. We've been friends for 21 years.
Wow.
We're just joined at the hip, and we have been for years. But he worked for Falcon.
Okay.
And he introduced me to Shishi LaRue. He introduced me to Steven Scarborough. And I was working for Odyssey magazine. And then I started my own magazine called Hype, and I needed images to use for ads and covers and things like that. So I went to Steven Scarborough, and then I started to do some freelance graphic work for him. And he brought me in-house, and then eventually made me his art director, and I've worked in the industry ever since. I worked for Hot House for 15 years, and when I was at Hot House, Tim Valenti at Naked Sword came up with an idea to do a live talk show with updates about the adult industry, and we started doing the Tim and Roma show, and that was 10 years ago. But that really put me in the forefront of the industry, and it also got me hosting a lot of red carpets and the Gay VN Awards, and doing all sorts of events as Roma in conjunction with the porn industry. But thanks to like Shishi LaRue, porn stars and drag queens go hand in hand. I always thought of it as the cheerleaders and the football players. I have a lot of close personal friends. Chad Donovan is one of my great friends. I was very close with Drew Cutler. Kyle King is a friend who I also think was just a great porn star. It was fun to watch him develop because he came to Hot House when he was very young, like 18. These guys, if they're around long enough, they just reach a point where like they're like boom, boom, boom. They know their angles and every picture's a hit, and they're just wonderful. And Kyle also happens to be very nice, a sweet, sweet person. So that's important to me too. I look for that.
Leo Forte is a friend of ours, and like he's that way. Every photograph is just like, really? Do you have to be that perfect in every photo? He's an amazing model.
I always tell him that too. Adam Ramsey is one of the newer ones that I'm familiar with now at Naked Sword. Of course, it doesn't hurt when he has gorgeous green eyes and just the dark skin and the smoldering sexuality. He's amazing.
You also co-host with Honey Mahogany the viewing party for RuPaul's Drag Race every Monday in the Castro at Midnight Sun, so go check out Roma at that.
Yes.
So tell me, have you had a favorite all-time Drag Race performer besides Honey? Sorry, Honey.
That's a good question. I really love Alaska Thunderfuck. I love her style. I think she's very funny. I think she's beautiful. She has a good heart. She's interesting. I was actually really impressed with Adore Delano. I went to her concert here. There's a lot of really talented queens coming out of that show. I think Willem Belli's a cunt, but immensely talented and super funny. Can I say cunt on here?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. We can say,
Okay.
there's so many things that people may assume about us, but what would surprise people about you? You have to keep something secret, Roma.
I've been in love, but it was never reciprocated, so I've never actually had a lover or a boyfriend. And I've always felt really comfortable with that. I don't feel like I'm missing something. I don't have an urge to find a partner. I just don't think I'm wired that way, and I'm very comfortable with that.
I remember we were in the car one time driving to an event together, and you were talking to me about that, and it kind of confounded me because at the time I thought, there must be something really wrong with her to not want that. You know, like there must be something really wrong with her.
I think that sometimes too, because people are generally wired that way. I don't think I'm wired that way. I mean, I know there are very busy, active, successful drag queens who have great relationships. Peaches Christ has a wonderful lover, potential husband, I would say. I mean, they're, you know, she's always in a great relationship. A whole lot of times has had her man forever. I know many of my sisters are in deep relationships. It's possible. It's just not for me. It's interesting, though, because Shishi LaRue is the same way. She also has never had a significant other, and neither is Shantae. Maybe the three of us are like...
You guys are like a polyamorous...
Codependent on each other.
You're a polyamorous, codependent, non-sexual triad.
It might be. It's not going to end well. BB either, come to think of it. Has BB ever...
Well...
One of my other best friends, of course, is BB Sweetbriar we're talking about.
She's never had a boyfriend in the time, or partner in the time I've known her, which is the entirety of my drag career.
Of course, she does have daughters, so she had a wife. So
she had a wife at one time.
There was some kind of relationship there at some point,
So, and she has two gorgeous children. So
beautiful.
Sid and Allie, if you're watching. So, you've seen Roma and girl drag in the past, but it's something that you kind of only break out on occasion. Why is that?
For me, it's just sort of fun. I feel like I'm taking a break when I do girl drag, and it's just to change it up once in a while and to prove that I can do it. There are times where I've been really pleased with the way that it's turned out, and other times where I'm like, okay. But it's fun. It's a lot easier for me than it is doing Roma's full 2.5 hour.
It takes 2.5 hours.
It does. It takes me 2.5 hours. Still, after 28 years, it still takes that long. It's quite a process.
There's also something really cathartic and like settling and peaceful and centering about doing makeup. I find it like a meditation.
Yeah, it's a process, and it's relaxing to some extent, as long as it's all going well. You know, because like you said, I think you said in one of these videos, you said you have to remember that eyebrows are sisters, not twins.
Sometimes I got second cousins twice removed.
Right.
It's like...
And sometimes I get so caught up in it, and I have to stop and go, okay, the event's not called, look how pretty Roma's makeup is. Just chill out and get your ass to the event.
I've never seen you take a bad photo either.
As long as there's a flash.
Ladies and lady boys always want a flash. Yes. Drag makeup, every element of it is for flash photography.
Well, why do people pull out their cell phone and take a crappy picture with no flash? What are they going to do with it? Like, what is the point? Flash, please.
We are going to get ready to do our drag transformation. Remember, everything that you're going to be watching in this video from this point on is probably going to be sped up to like maybe 32 times the actual speed that we're filming it. So be prepared. It's going to go by like that. We'll be back in a minute. I'm Pollo.
I'm Sister Roma.
We're giving you face. By the way, we're using her foundation colors. It's a real reminder to be color matched when you go get your foundations.
Reading me right now. That was a read.
It was kind of a read, but it's more educational because she did the same thing that I did when I was first starting it. Like, this looks like it works, this looks like it works, but you have to test it on your skin and you have to powder it to make sure that it comes out the right color.
I think this looks great, Pollo. Thank you so much. just gonna stick it on my eye. And it's been worn how many times?
Once.
Okay. Here comes pink eye.
I think that the results are well worth the wait. Ladies and gentlemen, you know her as Sister Roma. Ooh.
Wow, I love it. Okay, you don't watch reality TV, right?
No.
I look exactly like one of the Real Housewives of Melbourne.
So, what's her name? Do you know which one? You're like, no, just any
I
of them.
can't remember her name. Well, people used to tell me when I do my own drag makeup with blonde hair, I look like Kim Zolciak from Atlanta. Now I think I look like Gina from the Real Housewives of Melbourne. Here she is. This is Gina. She's gorgeous, right?
Yeah, she's totally beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, and it doesn't hurt that the picture you pull up, like wearing a very similar necklace and a very similar top.
she's a barrister and a bitch, so I love her. So she's fabulous.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I just look like a housewife.
Very gorgeous.
Like a really gorgeous, beautiful. Actually, you're a pageant girl. Maybe I should start doing pageants.
Maybe you should. Oh, I had to...
So is this your most successful giving you face transformation ever?
Well, you are by far the most iconic individual that I've ever worked with. Look at her.
Oh, that's my lip sync from when I win my crown.
Oh. What song? What song are you going to be
It
listening?
doesn't matter because I don't know any songs.
Well, again, as I said, nobody would ever fault Sister Roma's makeup. Her makeup is on point every time. And she's never taken a bad photograph, ever. But, look, this is something totally new. As we are so used to seeing really brightly colored Roma, like huge feathers and all of the vibrant colors that she uses on her face.
Glitter and everything.
Yeah,
Right.
I wanted to go completely against that. So this is like my idea of real girl. Well, I mean,
A real girl who loves makeup.
right, and there's a lot of them.
There are.
Hopefully, a lot of them are watching this.
But no, these are all very muted, natural tones that you've used. And it's really pretty. I love the contouring, and the skin just looks beautiful. It's really good.
Well, everyone, once again, another successful makeover. One of these times I want her to paint me as Sister Roma. I think that'd be so fierce.
We should do that.
Yeah, that would be super fierce.
That would be fun.
All right, everybody. I'm Pollo. This is Sister Roma. We are giving you face, especially her. Oh, and breasts,
And
sis.
boobs.
And boobs.
Yeah.
Follow her, Sister Roma, at Sister Roma.
On Twitter.
On Twitter, at Sister_Roma on Instagram.
That's right.
And of course, I'm the Glamazon PDM on Twitter and Pollo Del Mar fans on both Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, remember, makeup's supposed to be fun. You had a great time.
I had a blast.
Me
Thank
too.
you so much.
And we'll see you soon. Ooh, love it.